right. We are back. Fifth Street Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. By the way, I want to thank Boggs Paulino for running our show today, technical director.
Technical wizard.
And all the fine folks in San Francisco doing such a great job at Sports Byline and SB Nation Radio's radio networks for carrying us. It's always great to be with them. And you know, we talk about Fox. The one thing I do want to say about Fox, by the way, let's bring Nick Webster back into the show. And before we go any further,
I lost so much.
Okay, before we go any further, Nick is at a party, by the way, if you're wondering what that noise is. And he's having a great time, but and I'm glad he is.
I wish he would have went to a bikini contest.
A bikini contest would have been better.
The background would have been pretty nice.
But you know, I do want to mention that Fox's coverage of the World Cup has not been good. We all agree on that. But I will say that for people that want to denigrate Fox as being terrible for the game, etc., they need to look. They really need to look up a little bit of history. Back when Nick and I were Fox employees, they were the only people covering the game. They were the only people truly wanting to take a chance on the Premier League, make a big investment in
Except
it.
for Telemundo in the United States.
In English. Bring all the matches to you. They had Fox Sports World, and they had a whole channel devoted just to soccer, Fox Soccer Channel. So don't denigrate Fox because a large reason that you get to watch all these wonderful leagues during the season and see every match in the English Premier League is because they raised the bar. Now other people after them have raised it higher, and that's to their credit. So we look back at the way Fox likes to cover the World Cup, and we kind of shake our heads. But you've got to give them credit where credit's due. It's not the end of the world. It's not been the greatest coverage. All right, welcome back to the show. This is the part of the show where we will give you our picks for Monday's matches. And after we do that, we can continue the discussion.
Let's pick some winners.
But shall we pick some winners, gentlemen? Nick Webster, you ready to pick some winners again?
I am. My son was ready to pick some winners, and he's actually winning the. There's a pool I'm in. 50 people predicting the score correctly, and London is in fact winning that pool.
So your son is called London for people that don't know.
Yes,
I was wondering about that.
We should get London in to predict the winners because he's doing a far better job than me.
Yeah, and Juniper does quite well as well. If you watch the show during the week, she joined us on set, which was always interesting. All right, so we actually have 4 matches on Monday, and just keep in mind, from Monday onwards, it's 4 matches a day as they try to run through the last bits of the group stages and get on with the knockout round. The first match in Group A is Russia-Uruguay, and look, both these teams are looking very good, going to be moving forwards. Only a Uruguay victory here, though, would see them finish on top of Russia. Russia had a 5-0 victory and a 3-1. Uruguay had a 1-0 and a 1-0. You have to think they'd have to win probably by 2 goals to make that work. I think if they were to win, that's what they would do. So only a Uruguay victory by more than 2 goals, or 2 goals or more, would result in them going through, by my estimation here, on top of that group. Because the goal difference is 7-2. No, it'd have to be more. It'd have to be a 5-goal. 2.5 goals.
Okay,
2 goals.
Nick, I'm going to stop you right now. Obviously, whoever wins that game will win the group.
Right,
whoever wins the game
they
will
both
win the
have
group.
6 points.
Right, they both
Regardless
6 points.
Regardless
6
of the
points.
goal difference.
Is goal difference? Yes, that's quite right. They both have 6 points.
So
thank you, Nick.
Should they tie, then Russia will win the group.
Pardon me. That's what I was. The connotation was the tie. You're right. Correct.
It's the vodka, Nick.
It's the vodka.
All right, let me just say this. And now I'll let Webster and Perez come over the top of me. I'm going to go first on this one because I've looked at this. I think Russia's just played their asses off. Can I say that?
Signs.
They've scored 8 goals, the most of any team in the World Cup so far, against very soft competition. Obviously, the home field advantage big here. Now they're in their 3rd game. Now they're going to step up in class. Uruguay, by the way, hasn't allowed a goal so far. Something has to give. Either the great defense is going to win this game, or Russia's 8 goals on their prolific offense, quote unquote, will win this game. I say Uruguay rises to the occasion. I've already picked Uruguay as a surprise, potentially World Cup champion. Come over the top of me, Mr. Webster, and tell me I'm wrong. I think Uruguay's the play here.
You know what? I mean, that seems like the sensible play. However, I think the wave of nationalistic optimism surrounding the Russian team will carry them through. Uruguay, for all their success, are a horrible team to watch. They are a horrible team to play against. And if I really actually fancy the 0-0. So
Wow.
Well,
that's what I'm going to go for.
I will agree with Nick Webster that they are a horrible team to play against. This will be the sternest competition the Russians have seen so far in this group, which has been a fairly easy group with Egypt and Saudi Arabia. I think they will get a surprise with Uruguay. I think Uruguay will turn it on. This is one of these teams that is betting into this tournament the longer it goes. Shake your head all you want, Webster. We will see. You will be in the jalopy on Tuesday. I will be driving the Bugatti, and then we will know who is right and who was wrong. I'm going with Uruguay. Here are the prices on this. But Frank, who do you think? Uruguay?
No, I'm gonna go with the tie.
Frank's going with the very Oklahoma Bryanish tie, by the way. There you go. All right, Russia plus 207, Uruguay plus 158. They are the favorites right now. The draw is plus 207. It's a 2-goal total goals, and it's minus 114 and minus 101 respectively to the over-under. I wouldn't bet the over-under. I'm just going to bet straight Uruguay at plus 158 for me. Nolan, you have Uruguay. Frank, you have the draw. Nick, you have the draw. There you have it, folks. All right, let's move on to the next one in Group A. And this is an interesting match only because there's nothing to play for here.
This is a real barn burner,
Yeah,
huh?
it really is.
Wow.
Egypt and Saudi Arabia. You know, I got two ifs for me in this match. Somewhere along the line here, some of these teams play for pride. If this was like Iraq and North Korea, you would know the players are playing for their very lives. Because if they don't do something, they'll probably be executed upon return. Things aren't quite that bad in Saudi Arabia or in Egypt. And I know that a lot of players, again, this is the big stage. So a lot of these players really like to show that what they can do and put themselves in the marketplace. I don't know if Mo Salah is even going to play for Egypt here. I don't know why they would risk him if he's been so iffy on injury. He was really sort of not really relevant in the last game for them. This is a match probably not worth betting, and I'm pretty sure not worth watching, as it is on the same time as the Uruguay-Russia match. But if you were to bet it, I would probably bet, again, this may be draw here at plus 266, or Egypt at minus 113. If Salah's playing, I'd watch it, and I'd take Egypt at minus 113. It's 2.5 goal spread, 2.5 goal totals, plus 109 for the over, minus 124 for the under. I'd probably go Egypt for this one. How about you, Webster?
Yeah, I'm Egypt all the way. I think Saudi Arabia are complete pants, and I'm kind of horrified about the next World Cup having 48 teams, because if Egypt had made the final 32, there's going to be some real crud in the 48. So I think Egypt have way too much quality from top to bottom. Egypt to win this one, but I'm going to steer clear of any prediction on over and unders.
Yeah, agree. Frank?
I'm going to definitely be watching Animal Planet 3 during this match. I got zero. There's a 0 chance of me watching this one.
All right.
Oh, it's funny that sometimes when you have two bad teams playing, those are really, I think, good opportunities. I understand that neither one of these teams is going to advance, but I think there's a really good opportunity here. Saudi Arabia is just absolutely outclassed. They've allowed 10 goals. 10 goals, the most of any team in the World Cup. No. If you watch this, just watch how they handle the ball. They don't even handle. They don't even handle passes off to the side, and they can't cross and put themselves into a position of scoring. They've scored nothing. They've given up massive number of goals. I think Egypt doesn't matter about Salah playing. I think this is just simply Egypt is a better team, and Saudi Arabia probably doesn't belong in this tournament. I say, along with a couple of you, I think Egypt is the play.
All right, the next selection here. Now, this is interesting because this is actually one of the times when I think these are on at the same time. Yes, they are. So these next two matches, this is the first time in the World Cup that I will have two screens on at one time, because we are going to be playing two very important matches at the same time with the connotations for Group B. Morocco and Spain are squaring off, and Portugal and Iran. Now, right now, Spain and Portugal, who fought to that incredible 3-3 draw, the first match of the second match day, I think, the first match of this group, are tied on goal points. They're tied on goal differential. They're tied on goals scored. They are tied all the way through. So the choice between who goes first, comes out of this group first, and who comes out of this group second is going to be, number one, which team wins and the other one doesn't. And it's most likely both of these teams are going to win. The choice then becomes who scores the most goals and concedes the fewest. So these two matches, once again, this group is providing us with a cliffhanger here. This is exciting stuff. Let's start with Spain, Morocco. Morocco are currently -2. They've got 2 goals against, and they've been pretty awful, quite frankly, in general. They haven't been that great. And they are playing Spain, who have been quite the opposite of awful. They've been terrific. At times, they've looked like potential world beaters. I'm going with Spain on this one. And by the way, guys, we've seen some crazy odds in this, right, for favorites. -284 for Spain. I mean, that doesn't seem like,
It should be like -500 or something.
Look, England, England are -580 for their match against Panama. You would think Spain would be somewhere right in that area for their match against Morocco. What do you think, Webster?
Well, I think you need some testicular fortitude, but if you do have the said testicular fortitude, yeah, go down to bettingsport.eu and put $1,000 on Spain, and you're going to come up trumps. I mean, there's no way Spain are going to lose to Morocco. Yes, Morocco have played well. I'm going to go against you, Nick, and I think they've been desperately unlucky in both their games, and had the bounce gone one way or the other, they may have come out with something. But their World Cup is over. Spain are in the upper echelons of world football. There's no way they are going to stub their foot against this team. They are going to win. So yes, have some testicular fortitude and put $1,000 on Spain and enjoy and reap the rewards.
Well, the total goals here is 2.5 on this one. It's -113 for the over, -102 for the under. I don't know. Is this going to be a very high-scoring game, you think, Nick? Morocco defensively aren't that bad, actually.
I actually like the over in this game. I think we saw what Spain have in that first game, scoring 3 against Portugal, who are a far better team than Morocco. Yes, they did struggle against Iran.
But attack more. But Portugal will attack a lot more than Morocco.
But Morocco do attack, Nick. That's the thing about them. That's why they've lost these games, because they do have an attacking mentality and they leave themselves wide open. Spain will pick them off. This will be a high-scoring game. Trust me.
High-scoring game. Take the over. I'll go with Webster.
Yep,
that's fair enough.
Well, it's rare. I don't know if I've ever disagreed with him. I just think that Morocco playing 2 games consecutively of 1-0. I think it bodes well for them defensively. I don't think they're gonna go all out. They can't compete with Spain if it gets into a shootout. I think Morocco's going to be scrappy. I think this game stays close. I think it goes 1-0, maybe 2-0. I think it goes under 2.5. I'm a little surprised to hear Webster liking the over here.
All right, so you're for the under. Let's go to the next match. Same group, same scenario. Portugal, Iran. Nick, the Iranian team has actually surprised me. Very positive play from the Iranian team. They've had a couple of things break their way, which has been good for them. A couple of terrible things which have gone against them too. But on the whole, they've impressed me. They've been one of the surprises for me in this tournament. And you know what? I believe do we have to go? We do. Oh, good Lord. What's happened?
We talk about some...
You know what, Nick? We have to go to break. Kind of lost track of time here. So we're going to do that. We'll be right back to wrap it up with our picks here on Fifth Street Sports.
You know what, my gut...
All right, we're back on Fifth Street Sports. Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio. All right, guys, we're just going to get to it. We just got a couple of minutes left, and we put out the Portugal, Iran. We haven't given you our picks yet. Let me give you possibly the best value of the entire World Cup so far. And who's that? I don't know who's that. Somebody not in our show talking?
That's somebody at the party.
I know, somebody at the party.
I wish we could party like that.
All right, here we go, Nick, Webster, Nolan, Frank. Portugal at -145. Iran +500. The draws +262. The 2 total goals. And it's -123 for the over, +108 for the under. Let's go. To what we're going to get Nick Webster quickly, and then we're going to lose him because he's a bit
Well,
loud.
some
Nick,
of them have been 3 a.m.
Super quickly. Okay, Iran's still having a chance to get to the next round. Portugal aren't the greatest team in the world. I am predicting something right now. Iran goes and kicks the crap out of Cristiano Ronaldo. First 10 minutes, he pulls out of the game. Leave that sausage out of it, please, my son. And Iran actually gets something out of this game. Not sure how many goals Portugal are giving to Iran right now, but if it's one, I would bet Iran and take the goal.
all right. That's a gutsy pick. I can tell you, for me personally,
That must be one hell of a party. That's all I can say,
Right,
Mr.
I'm
Webster.
going with Portugal at minus 145, and I'm going to take
Don't
the
know what to do
over.
with their sausages.
But Portugal on the over. Frank?
I'm going with Portugal. I think Ronaldo adds 2 more goals to his golden boot conquest here in the tournament. I'll go with Portugal.
All right. Nolan?
Portugal got grouped with Spain. That's unfortunate because this is a team that is clearly upper tier, maybe top 5 in this whole tournament. Portugal will throttle Iran. Great story, Iran underdog. They're going to get exposed here. This is, by the way, minus 140. This is the best bet on the board. You're right.
That's right. I'm going to take it. Portugal minus 145. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific, and then again 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 4 and 9 p.m. on the East Coast time. For Fifth Street Soccer, we'll bring you all the results and our picks for Tuesday. Have a great time. Enjoy the matches. Have a good weekend.